here we go. Chapter from the shore to be more show. Coming through strong with that podcast flow. Sunday afternoon at 2 to 3 p.m. slot. Got the Interstate 95 Turnpike hot. When you tune in, they don't just entertain. They come with the message that presses the brain. Those other podcasts, they seem microscopic. Cause they're the big dogs that drop the hot topics. So sure, be more dumb and just stay ready for DJ Boom, Shaheem, and on Debbie. Put them together, there's a treacherous string. From the tri-state area to the DMV. So sit back, relax, get your Sundays on after morning, gone before dawn. That positive vibe that we hitting so strong. With this podcast show, you can't go wrong. So, here we go, here we go. Here we go, here we go. Here we go, here we go.
What's up, everybody?
Here we go, here we go.
Once again, we are back. The one and only Shaheem.
The official DJ Boom here in the building.
And we are back again, the From the Shore to Be More show. And it's happy to be back. We're happy to be back, and we're happy to see everybody back with us once again for another show. Thank you.
Welcome, y'all. Welcome, y'all. So listen, you know we gotta address the elephant in the room real quick while we wait for Aunt Debbie to join us. Because y'all see in my man background, he got his little Giants, little sign up there, you know what I mean?
Yes.
They finally won a game, and they beat my Packers today. You know what I mean? They earned it. It was a good game, but they
hats
earned
off
it.
to the New York Giants. Hats off to the New York Giants. Big victory over there in London overseas over Cousins Green Bay Packers. It was a great game. Great game.
It was a great game until the Giants won.
Yeah, it was a big win, and I'm gonna be honest. It was going to be a tough game. As a Giants fan, we all knew that going in. I didn't think we were going to pull it out, but we did. We had a couple games that we won this year, of course, but not against really good teams. This one was the first one where I thought we got the best of a good team. So hats off to the New York Giants.
No, that's right. We're definitely showing some love. As people might know, I'm from Jersey, and I don't dislike the Giants. I'm just a Packers fan. So shout out to the Giants for an excellent win. They pulled it off, and they earned it. So I'm looking for some big things coming out of the NFC East this year, because the NFC East been sucking for a long time. For a long time.
Yeah, it has been a long time. At one point, the NFC East, if you're a football fan, you all know, we dominated football, absolutely dominated football between the New York Giants, the Washington Redskins, the Dallas Cowboys, and even the Philadelphia Eagles. We dominated football for a long time, but we fell off for a long time. And it's good to see that we some of us are on the rise.
Right. You know, so I take this L. I actually didn't realize that we were gonna be playing each other until after the show last week, because I would have got on here publicly and said, let's make a bet of some sort. You know, I didn't even realize it until then. And now I want to do it throughout the week because it'd have been boring to do it.
Well, I wasn't going to push it anything about a bet because I didn't think we were going to win.
No, it didn't have to be a monetary thing. It could have just been, I don't know, losing the other team jersey or something.
Right. I still would have took it because I didn't think we were going to win. I ain't going to just willingly take a loss. I didn't think we were going to win. Not only did my thing is, to me, we're not a very good team, but we also have some people that are banged up. So I didn't think we were going to win this at all.
Well, again, I always want my team to win, of course, and they tried. My team's defense has always been suspect ever since they won the Super Bowl back in I think it was 2012. They won the Super Bowl, and the defense was right then. The offense has always been good. The defense ever since then has always been suspect. So, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. Congratulations once again.
I'm sure football fans or Packer fans especially maybe will agree, maybe not. If you can always comment in our comments, we'll put them up. The team, looking from the outside over the last few years, the Green Bay Packers have made some questionable decisions about their personnel. And I think even Aaron Rodgers a while back came out and spoke on it. They let some key people go that they should have kept.
Like I said, but the offense has always been able to hang in there. It's the defense that's always been suspect, and I just don't understand. But we have got to welcome the esteemed Aunt Debbie to the show. Y'all make some noise. Aunt Debbie in the house.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Aunt Debbie. How are you today?
I am ecstatic and happy.
I was about to say you look like you're glowing, Auntie. You look happy without even smiling. Well, get out of my view.
I love my life. I love my life.
Good. We understand you had a big show yesterday.
I did. Oh, I didn't do my hair. I did. I had an exhibition of art. I have 4 pieces in the show, and an artist works for her soul. I mean, she works for meaning and connection, but it's so much fun to sell.
Yes.
Right.
I love the selling part as well. So
I saw you sold a piece or two, huh?
I sold 2 pieces, and I don't.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I think I saw one of the pieces. It was beautiful.
Yeah, bittersweet because I also covet my own work. Being I'm a Taurus, so I want to have things and hold them. But
your babies.
But okay, I let them go. So somebody is going to be very happy.
I sympathize with you. As a fellow artist, but in a different genre, I mean music, I understand where you're coming from. My songs are my babies. The difference between but the difference between art in the form that you're talking about in music is that I get to share mine. So it's never gone. But when an artist sells a painting, their baby goes bye-bye.
It's gone.
That's got to hurt a little bit.
It's absolutely gone. And sometimes I want to say, where do you live so I can check up on my baby?
Right.
I understand fully.
So in music, all 3 of us are artists in our own right. So I understand. I just created I put a floating shelf in my son's room just by hand. Me and him built it together and put it up in his room. I should have put a picture on here so everybody can see it, but that's art, in and of itself, and being able to do that.
He's turning into a handy little guy. And I understand what you're saying about the art side of it, but for me, especially as a father, what I could appreciate the most is you spending time with your little guy.
Right.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. And that was the thing too. I said, come on, I'm gonna take you with me, and we're gonna build this shelf for your room. So, and that's my Gemini kid. So
he'll always remember that,
Absolutely.
Always.
He'll always remember.
Always.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you call him your little Gemini kid, because it kind of speaks to our topic today, in astrology. But before we jump into it, I just want to mention a few things. I want to thank everybody from last week's show once again. It was a 2-part show. It was great. Both weeks were great.
Both shows.
Both shows were amazing. So I want to thank the guests from last week's show for sure, for sharing their stories. And also want to mention the fact that the show is growing thanks to you guys out there. And now you can see us in more spaces than we used to. Despite all the competition out there, yes, we are expanding and we are getting bigger. And so I want to mention that before we roll into the show. So thank you guys for all your support. Keep supporting us. We love y'all for it. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell your friends.
Right.
Tell your friends, tell your family.
Like and subscribe. That's what we need. Like
and subscribe. If you enjoy the show, please don't keep it a secret. Tell your family and friends. We're here every week.
At least we
2 to 3. So thanks again, everybody, for your support.
All right, Auntie.
All right, let's roll into it.
We're going to give the floor to the one and only Deborah, a.k.a. Aunt Debbie Singletary. Y'all make some
Yes.
noise. There's some FYI your niece is in the background.
Yes.
Singing too. Okay.
Well, I'm so accustomed to you guys, my bosses, leading the way. And I just have to sit back and say, oh, maybe I should say something here. But I do want to talk, just say a little something about how I got into astrology. I was about 20 years old, and a friend suggested to me that I see an astrologer, and I did. And he told me things about myself that were very helpful and very important for me to know. And he told me things that, you know, that it was some white man on 23rd Street. Like, how could he know about my life?
Right.
And there was one quality that I had that he talked about, and I was just blown away.
Mm.
By his insight into my life, and I needed to hear what he had to say. And I said, "Oh my God, you're really brilliant." He said, "Oh, you could." I know. He said, "I'm not so brilliant." He said, "I know how to do it. You could do it too." And I said, "Yeah, right." And he said, "Well, I'm giving classes," and I started studying. And to my shock and surprise, I could actually learn to read a chart. So, I've been reading charts for over 50 years, and I still consider myself a student. For those of you who can do the math, I'm 70. And, so I've been at this a while, but I'm always learning, I'm always refining, and I also love to teach. And I thought we could have some fun today if I teach you guys a couple of things, and as well as the audience. And they're certainly welcome to participate. Ooh, I hope I have my notes. Oh, I don't have them, but I don't guess I need them. Everybody's welcome to participate. So,
Right.
Is it possible for me to share a screen, or Sekou, Shaheen, do you need to share it for me?
No, you should be able to do it.
Okay, let me see if I'm, it says mute stop cam settings, present. Where do I go?
Present.
A video file. Ooh, share screen.
Yeah,
Screen.
if you share your screen, you'll be able to you'll be maneuvering around whatever it is on your screen.
Okay. All right. Hang in there with me, people.
That's cool.
It's not select a window or a screen. StreamYard, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. PowerPoint.
Right. Yeah. You want to share your.
Oh my God. And now it's so little, I can barely see where to go.
Oh man, I thought when you said, "Oh my God," I thought some porn was gonna pop up or something. I was like, "Hold on."
No, I don't see where it's little. Oh, how do I make it big?
Oh.
Maybe I should go back to the show. I can't really see it very well. I should have practiced this with you guys.
I usually go, I know on my phone, I go where it usually says brand.
I got it.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
Okay. So,
Okay. There we go.
All right. So this is an image that I painted some years ago. It happens to be titled Virgo, on the cusp of my fourth house.
Virgo, interesting.
Wherever there is Virgo, there's a lot of busyness and a lot of things going on.
Oh, come on now.
I'm showing this to just demonstrate how our lives can be, school, work, relationships, friendships, hobbies, health. There's a lot going on, just as there's a lot going on in this picture. So in order to kind of read this, we look at the whole thing, and then we start looking at the various parts. Some of them are fun, and I'm afraid some of this is true to life. Here I am on the phone with a client, a painting in process, the television is on, right? So that kind of insight is constellated into a chart. So here's a picture of a chart. And most of us, when we look at this chart, we say, "What? What's that?" It looks like there are a lot of moving pieces, but I'm going to share with you the building parts of a natal chart.
Can I ask a question real fast?
Absolutely.
Just real quick. I don't know your birthday. Are you a Virgo?
No.
Okay.
She's a Taurus.
No. So this is what I'm just about to explain.
Okay.
Everybody has all of the signs and all of the planets. So here are the signs. So everybody has Aries somewhere.
See the first one. See the first one.
Oh,
yeah, okay. Oh, and see, this is going to turn into a battle.
Don't take it personally. Everybody has Taurus somewhere. And a lot of times, if you ask people what their sign is and they go say Scorpio, people go, ooh. But everybody's got ooh somewhere in their chart, as well as the planets. So here we are, Aries to Pisces. And then you can see my little arrow, right?
Mhm.
And here we're the sun to the Pluto, sun, moon, Mercury, Venus. So a chart is just based on where you got the stuff. And that's how I read it. I say, where is Shaheem's Mercury? And I look on his chart and I find it, and I find what sign it's in. So, and this is what we're going to have some fun with today: fire, earth, air, and water. All of these signs are either fire, earth, air, or water. And the last of the building blocks is the houses. You see where it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So those are houses or areas of life. Anything you ask me, if you ask me about your mother, if you ask me about your cousin, if you ask me about your grandfather, if you ask me about your home, I can I know where the fourth house of the home is. It's right here. And I would look, oh, how about my health? And whoever charts this is, their sun is in the sixth house, which is a Virgo house. Oh, there's Virgo again. So
I'm being picked on today.
You're being loved today. You're being loved today, but I'm going to address that picked on thing. So today, right this moment, I only want you to focus on fire, earth, air, and water. So Aries is a fire sign, Taurus, earth, Gemini is air, and Cancer is water. Okay. Right? And so then it starts fire, earth, air, and water again. So since we have all 12 of the signs and all 10 of the planets, we have a mixture, each of us, of fire, earth, air, and water. So there are 12 houses, 12 signs, 10 planets. All right. So for now, let's see if we can have a little fun. I'm going to ask everybody, the listening audience, but Shaheem, since I know I can have you weigh in. Tell me what you know about fire. And I don't mean fire sign people. I mean the element of fire itself. Give me some of its visuals or its properties. Give me a few things.
It's hot.
It's hot. What else?
Right?
It's consuming.
It's bright. It gives off light. It's consuming.
It's raging.
It has the potential to rage. It can grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. What does it look like?
In the sense of color?
Yes.
Orange.
Orange, red?
Dark orange.
Red?
Bright orange.
Or Yeah, right, bright orange.
It's
Yellow.
and yellow, and it also has white and blue. This
It
illustrates.
can, right.
Yeah, it's so fire is extremely colorful. So what we would do is we would ask ourselves, what do what if a person has a lot of fire in their chart? What would they be like?
Angry.
Now, okay, they could be, can we say they could have a temper?
Right. They would be awesome like me because I have a lot of fire in my chart.
Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Let me just give you maybe you do, maybe you don't, because it's not based on your sun sign. Like, for example, I'm a Taurus, but that's the only earth that I have. I'm more of another element, and I'm going to let you guys guess later. So a person, just based on what you said, hot, bright, consuming, can be rageful, colorful. What is a fiery person like? They might have a temper. What else?
Um,
Energetic.
Energetic. Perfect.
mhm.
What else?
um, I don't
When
know.
when they walk into the room, what do they often do?
Well, they're nosy. I'll tell you that.
They
Brighten up the
light up
room.
the room.
Hmm.
They light
Okay.
up the room. Don't go from your head knowledge. Go from fire itself. When
Fire. Okay.
when people are full of fire and they walk into the room, you know, they bright. They it could be very bright.
Okay.
Everybody will notice them. They attract attention, right? You know, there are people who set fires and then they go set and they stare at them. It's a fire
Hmm.
is a very attracting principle. And how might they present themselves in terms of their clothing, for example?
Very bright, noticeable. Just
There you go. Colorful.
right.
They're often fiery people. And I'm not just talking about a Leo or a Sag. I'm talking about people who have a lot. They are often very colorful in their appearance.
So fiery people are gay.
Terrible. Stop it.
I don't know what am I going to do with you, Shaggy?
That's a little joke. All right. But I'm paying attention.
Well, you know, one of my best friends is gay, as you know, and she doesn't necessarily dress colorfully. I don't know. She doesn't necessarily have a temper, but you were joking. Why am I answering you? So on. Let's move on to Earth and give me a few properties of Earth. What do we know about Earth?
It's gritty. Um,
Think about the soil Earth, not the flowers and the leaves.
that's what I'm saying. It's gritty.
Nourishing.
Yeah.
Nourish, nourishing. I stepped away from the mic for a second. It can be
Right.
very nourishing. Earth is nourishing. What else?
It's dark.
Dark. There you go.
Um, Earth.
Evolving.
Yeah, what do you mean by evolving?
Constantly moving.
Okay, yes. But how fast does the Earth, the planet doesn't move very fast. It moves slowly.
Move slowly.
Moves slowly. Otherwise, we'd all be dizzy right this
Grounded.
minute. Grounded. It's on the ground.
Hmm.
Um, and if I wanted to add something, I would say stable.
Hmm.
Right? When
Okay.
you walk on land, it's going to hold you unless you walk into some quicksand or some mud, and then we have a mixture of water and we would have a mixture of water and earth. Now let's go on to the air principle. What do you know about
Whimsical.
the air?
Whimsical, cold.
Don't think of people who are air sign. Whimsical might be a characteristic itself.
Refreshing, life
Can
giving.
be refreshing, life-giving. What else? What color is it?
There is no color to air.
No color. You can't see it.
What I meant by cold was if the air is cold outside, it could be cold or hot.
And if
That's
the
what I meant
air
by
is cold and it blows on you, it's going to make you cold. If it's hot, the same thing.
Right.
Is it easy to trap air?
Yes.
I don't think so. I think it's difficult to trap. If I'm sitting in my room and I say I'm going to catch some air and I take my hand and I reach it out, I'm not really going to, it's not really trapped.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. Sometimes if you're putting something in a plastic bag, the air will stay in the bag and you could, and that will make the food spoil. But it's hard to trap air. I mean, it can be done. And when we think of the air, we think of it being in the sky. So let's move on to water. Oh, no. So air people, if somebody has a lot of air in their chart, what do you think they would be like?
Talkative.
They would be communicative, yes. Air people are talkative, and how that's an air thing. The air freely flows, so people
Up
who
and
have a lot
down.
of air freely talk. What else?
Yeah, I said up and down.
Up and down. Oh, that's good. Up and down. How about the
Ever
idea
changing.
when we said that the air was difficult to trap? How might that translate into a personality?
Um,
I don't know.
can't be kept. Can't. Let's see. I'm trying to think of a word for it.
Think of 5 words for it.
Well, they can't be contained. Basically.
It's hard to contain them.
Untrustworthy.
Yeah, it's hard to contain them.
It's hard to contain them. So do they want to be in one spot?
No.
No, they're very, as characters, they're usually very social creatures. Now, the last element is water. Think of water. What do we know about the element water itself? Not watery people, but the element of water.
Not solid.
It's fluid.
Right.
And not, what else?
Ever flowing.
Shapeless.
I like that. Or let's say it can take the shape of the container.
That's funny.
Right?
Yeah.
It changes. It's a shape shifter.
Right.
I like that. What else?
Free flowing.
It could be free flowing if it's free flowing, but it can also, you can stop water with a dam.
No, that's true.
And water can erode mountains.
It also can be. It can also change forms from liquid to air to solid.
It changes form. It can change form. And when I think of the water, the ocean.
Yeah.
When you call up images of the ocean, what do you think? What do you feel?
Sharks.
So there's some danger, huh?
Well, as y'all know, I live in Asbury, so the ocean's right there. Sharks are always on our minds.
And what did you say, Sekou?
Well, I said waves.
It's
large and small waves.
And what is that expression? Nobody knows what lies under the deep blue sea. It's fathomless, right?
Right.
Shaheen wouldn't jump into the ocean and say, I'm going to go down to the very bottom. I would say, see ya, Shaheen, because if he's going to travel down to the very, very bottom and he doesn't have special equipment, he's going to drown. So it's fathomless, and it's also kind of mesmerizing. So
It
think
could be
about
overtaking as well, or overwhelming.
overtaking. The expression overwhelming, I think, is a water expression. Now let's think of people who may have a lot of water in their charts, and what are their characteristics?
They're overbearing,
Shaky characters.
Y'all
I don't know.
not really stable. Because
Mm.
water's not, there's no stability to water unless you freeze it.
That's good.
Overwhelming or overbearing. Not overwhelming, overbearing.
I like that. And think of the fact that you don't know what's underneath the sea. That could make watery people mysterious,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Shifty. Mm-hmm. Shifty.
And when you say it changes shape, a lot of times water people will change their personality according to who they're with. Like,
Right.
If they can sort of change, and at least for a while be what you want them to be, but they can also be extremely comforting, right?
Okay.
They can be emotional. Now, there's a lot more we could say, but I want to move on in the interest of this being an hour show, and I think we're already at 2:32, and we want to get to reading some actual charts. So I'm going to ask our viewers. I don't know if any of them have been watching me in particular, or I'll ask the guys, what element do you think I am? Do you think I'm more like fire, earth, air, or water?
For me, I'm gonna say a combination of fire and earth to me.
Okay. Shaheen, take a
Oh,
stab at it. Do you think I'm more fire, earth, air, or water?
Fire.
Yes, I am more fire. I have a lot of fire in my chart. I think I could stop the share almost now.
Can I mention why I felt like that?
Yes, go ahead.
Because you seem fearless in taking on challenges or trying new things.
Yes.
So that's what made me say that.
Yes. And when I talk, I would love to be one of those people who would say, astrology is very lovely. When I talk, I am often almost too forceful.
Very animated.
I have to work on that all the time. Fire is a masculine element. Fire is masculine, air is masculine. Earth is feminine, and water is feminine. I happen to have more fire, and it's not earth. What do you think would be my second most
Air.
Air. I have fire and air. So generally, and I know we don't want to just look at me, but just to give you an example, because you two know me, I can see how I'm talking. I'm waving my hands in the air. I have gusto, and knowing that I have a lot of fire has really helped me in getting along with people, because one of the things that fire people can do is they can burn your ass. Oh, can I say ass?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fire people can be forceful, and I know that often I am a little too forceful with people, and I have a lot of what they call the masculine planets. Having more masculine, and one of you guys has more masculine, and one of you guys has more feminine. We're going to talk about that. But it has nothing to do with sexuality.
Yeah, clearly.
Right.
Okay.
But I'm a quote unquote masculine woman, so that when I interact with you, how am I going to be? How am I in meetings? When we have our meetings, Shaheem, I say, hey, no, how are we do it this way? I can be a little bossy. So fire people can also be a little bossy. And I have said to myself in dealing with you guys, hey, look, Deb, like hang back. I have to make my feminine self a little more conscious, because otherwise I might have a tendency to kind of run things, or feel like I want to run things. So where's Seiku's chart? I don't see Seiku's chart, but I happen to know what it is. If you guess, I want you to guess what element. I'm going to get up. I'm not even going to stop the screen. I think I see Seiku's chart. What element do you think predominates in Seiku's chart? Fire, earth, air, water.
Fire.
I would say probably fire too.
You're wrong. Take a second guess.
I'm wrong. Then I'm going to say earth.
Earth for Seiku. Is anybody listening? Is Sherelle listening? Maybe she could give us a heads up.
I don't know if she's listening to the show yet.
Okay.
She's just waiting for me to tell her when to come on.
Yeah, so is my wife.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you, and I actually have to print his chart again because I don't know what I did with it. Seiku actually has more air.
Oh, okay.
He has a lot of air in his chart. And you can see how that fits. What does he do a lot of?
A lot of talking. Okay.
He does a lot of talking. When he is DJing, he's doing a lot of talking, and he also is being very social.
Okay.
That's an air trait. Also, the air people they're also impartial, right? So Seiku doesn't care what color you are, what your sexual identity is, how much money you got. He doesn't care whether you're rich or poor. He is going to like everybody and be interested, because air is curiosity. And so this is perfect for him doing a podcast, because he a lot of ideas.
Okay.
He has a lot of ideas. On the other hand, what element do you think Shaheem has the most of?
Oh Lord.
Fire for sure. I would definitely say fire.
If I had to guess, I would say all fire.
Okay, so Shaheem has more earth than anything, and that suggests that he is he buries things, because one of the things that attributes of earth is that they bury things. He buries things. I'm not saying Seiku never buries things, but he's not going to bury them quite as much. So Shaheem is extremely private in a way that Seiku, like me, we're going to be less private. We're going to say, and I did this with Shaheem. He might be a little more cautious. So he has the predominant earth, and That's his major element, and there's not much more. Security is important to him. He's very concerned with material things and acquisitions. But one thing that I noticed, but Shaheem's Mercury is in an air sign, and that's what enables him to communicate a little more freely than most Earth planets do. Now, while I am more masculine, and Sekul has 8 masculine planets. That's a lot. I've got 7. He's got 8. He wins. Shaheem has the majority of his. Oh, he has actually. No, he has more of what we would call the feminine. And often when I do charts for men and I say, you've got feminine planets, they go, what you trying to say? If they identify as straight, they go, what? And by the way, when I'm doing the charts of women, I find most lesbians have more water in their charts. It's not like people think, because being a lesbian is not like I'm a man. You know what I mean? Right. Nor is being a gay man like I'm a woman necessarily. So Shaheem, what that tells me is Shaheem is very sensitive.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Sensitive.
Sensitive?
Yes. Now I could say this, Sekul, Sekul, get out of here, Sekul, you think you know everything. And Sekul could say to me, oh, Aunt Debbie, you overthink. But she says, I really don't like it, but whatever. But we're not going to hold it in, are we, Sekul?
No.
So so somebody could say, remember when Aunt Debbie said to you, he's going to be what? Because he's moved on. People who have more earth are going to hold things in. And the slights and the hurts are going to stay with them. And so if Shaheem was my client, I would be giving him, I would want to address holding grudges, holding on to negative emotions, holding on to fears. Shaheem is has a sun conjunct Pluto, so he's a very, very powerful person. He is what people call
crazy.
Can't with this guy.
He's controlling, but he's not controlling in a bully way. He needs to feel secure. So he has a compulsion to feel secure. And so certain things can make him feel not secure. So in our meeting, I hope this is interesting to your listening audience. In one of my meetings raise your hand if it's not, one of my meetings with Shaheem would go like this. I'd say, we should do this. And Shaheem, Shaheem gives us, says, oh, we should do this. And I go, well, I don't think so, because I think it's too, when I looked at my chart and compared it to Shaheem's chart, I realized, oh, he's sensitive. And when a sensitive person is with a person like me, I could easily kind of disrupt their confidence or their feelings. And so we can also in astrology do chart comparisons between two people. I most commonly do chart comparisons with couples. And couples who are, in a romantic relationship or a marriage. Notice I said or a marriage because marriages aren't necessarily romantic. The beginning part of when you meet and you say, ooh, she got fine legs, and we say, ooh, I like the way he hold me. That's the romantic part. Boy, he's so cute. That's the romantic part. He bought me flowers. The marriage part is not necessarily, it's almost something else. And in a chart, I can look at the romantic stage of a person, and I could look at the marriage of of individuals. So
Auntie, real
yes,
quick, since we're talking about the marriage part, can we bring our guest waiting in the studio
Yeah,
to come
my
in?
wife Terry's been waiting for a minute. She's been dying to talk to you.
please do.
Shaheem, you got to welcome her to the show.
Yeah, everybody, let me introduce my wife Terry, my better half, who puts up with me on a daily basis.
Hey.
Hey, Terry.
They're loving you out there. You hear that?
I hear it.
So I have Terry's chart here, and can anybody take a stab at and let me see. Well, if Terry guessed, I know what she would guess. What element does she have the most of in her chart? Now we know she's a water sign. She's a Cancer, all right. But does
Okay.
she, remember, I'm a Taurus, and I only have that one. My sun sign is Taurus. I don't have any more Taurus or Earth. So
Okay.
what element do we think Terry would have?
Air? If I was guessing, I don't know.
Well, I'm not going to guess because I have the paper right here.
Okay.
And I should check my email to make sure that I wrote it correctly. July 10th, right?
Right.
I'm guessing you don't want to say the year.
No,
I
would rather not.
and guess what? That's because I know what element she is. But let me find Shaheem's, because sometimes my fingers get the wrong thing. Okay, I got it right.
Okay.
Terry has the majority of her planets in water. Now, even so, not only is she a Cancer, but she has 5 planets in water. I don't know what you remembered what we said about the water. We described water as fluid, flowing, takes the shape. It can
Mysterious,
erode,
I think.
mysterious.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Very emotional.
Yes.
Very sensitive.
Mhm.
And with water people, we often don't know, and they often don't know what they're feeling. And a lot of people will say, oh, women are in touch with their feelings, women are in touch with their feelings. I totally disagree. I do not think that women are more in touch with their feelings than men. I think we're differently abled emotionally. But but Terry does not always know what she feels. So if I was like, Terry, what's wrong? And if she say she said something like, I feel like people don't like me. Whenever somebody says, I feel like, they're not feeling. Right? A feeling would be, I'm sad. I'm elated. I'm overwhelmed. I'm angry. I'm excited. Those are feelings. Emoting. So a lot of times it's not easy for Terry to say what she's feeling.
Right.
So in her conversation, you have to listen very carefully to her, Shaheem, and the rest of us who know her. we have to listen very carefully to discern what she's feeling, because she's not going to say it straight out.
Mm-mm.
She's going to talk all around it.
Okay.
So when she says, I'm tired, I would say, of what, Terry? Or, what do you mean, Terry? Do you mean you need some rest, or do you mean you can't, like,
Mm,
one has to really talk to her.
okay.
And Terry, um, is, while I think she's very gifted, as a writer, I think she's, a good writer. I think she can write poems. I think people come to her for counseling. People, really trust them. I think she's good. I think she can hold secrets. So, Terry, I'm calling you later and downloading all my secrets, because I know to be safe with you. When Terry was born, she did not she did not walk and talk at a rate that was average. She, either walked or talked earlier than is considered average, or later. It could be either one.
Mhm.
I think it's later. I think she did not talk, so that if it's average for a baby to talk at 1,
Right.
she may not have talked till 1.5.
Mm.
That caused people to think that she wasn't smart.
Mm.
And Terry may not know how smart she is. And I am here to say that she is is a very intelligent woman, and she's got emotional intelligence. And I want to come out in this podcast and say, just because people talk a lot doesn't mean they're saying anything.
Okay.
And, as a matter of fact, and Terry
That's
doesn't
true.
talk a lot. Terry doesn't talk a lot.
No.
That's why I'm saying that. He doesn't say much. And a lot of times, but let me just say this: she's seeing everything. So
Yep.
All right.
Terry, who's
True.
listened to me for several months or however long I've been on, Terry knows me, because let me tell you, she listen and she watch.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yep.
why she's been dying to get on and
Yep.
talk to you.
That's why I've been dying to get on and talk.
Well,
Everything.
also, somebody else been dying to get on and talk to. And that's your better half, Boom.
Is she on? Is she here?
Yeah, she's here. She gotta get the
Okay.
little
Bring
lady
her
out the
on.
background.
All
She all up in your
So let
background.
me just sum up by saying, Terry, when I would love to talk to you. So a lot of times people hide by talking a lot. When people go
Right.
talk, often they hiding. Because as long as they're talking, nobody's going to say, so how do you feel, right? So they're controlling it by talking all the time.
Yeah.
Who might do. With Terry, you are genius. I don't think your teachers knew what to do with you. I don't think you were properly, encouraged, as, because, I think you're shy, or you were shy as a child.
Mm-hmm.
And we could talk another time, Terry.
Okay. Mm. Thank you. Very
So
accurate.
you very, was that big memory, long memory. So she's an excellent memory. So thank
Okay.
you, Terry. We'll talk again. And
Okay.
then
Thank you.
I
All
want
right.
to say your husband a thing.
Okay.
Now I got to introduce my wife. Got to bring my wife to the show. Y'all make some noise for the one and only Secretary.
Hi, Sherelle.
Hey, guys.
What's up, Sherelle?
Hey,
Hey,
cuz.
Sherelle.
Yes, yes.
Hey, Auntie.
Hey,
Mhm.
Who is that? Hey, cuz.
so so with Terry, I didn't have her exact time, but Sherelle, I had all of the information. Where do I begin? She doesn't have a preponderance of any element. So all her elements are pretty equal. She has more air and water than anything else, but she's an air sign, and she's her rising is Sagittarius.
Okay. Oh, she's.
Sherelle
Mhm.
was born to make a splash on the world. I don't get shyness from this chart.
Hell no.
I think that she is a very objective person, and she needs to be out on in the world. I think she is. I think she is artistically gifted in a way that may not be easy to pinpoint. Um, oh, uh, so, so we could talk about worrying now because Sherelle worries a lot, and I can help you with that because I used to be a worrier. Worrying is a form of negative thinking, and negative thinking makes us secure because so let's say I don't know what time Shaheem is coming over for dinner, and I'm going to worry about it, and I'm going to say, oh, he ain't coming because I know he don't even, because he never, and he don't, or he ain't come. So I'm going to go to the negative because that's going to give me a sense of security. Now that might seem like what? Like why? It would take me too long to explain it. But deep thinking works for people who are deep writers. So Sherelle, I think you're a gifted writer. And we're not talking grammar here. You know, you may say your grammar may be messed up. I'm not saying I've ever seen you have messed up grammar. Don't I don't want to get in trouble. But it's almost like you think way beneath the surface. So your kind of thinking works best when you're counseling other people, when you're writing, when you are journaling, and you can get some of those things that are on your mind kind of off your mind.
Right.
One of the biggest challenges that you may have to do is was your father missing, or did he die early or something?
He was missing.
Huh?
He's still living, but he wasn't there.
He wasn't there. And so you have a lot of energy around abandonment. So it's almost as if you are living expected to be abandoned. How do we shift that into let's say more security? One way is to know your own identity and to acknowledge that you are free to create yourself, because some of us who have parents, our parents or our fathers, they were all over us correcting us all the time, right? You, on the other hand, may have a lot more freedom to create your identity. And even though your husband is a public person, you are a public person in your own rights, but you need to find your stage. In addition to writing and philosophy, I think you're a very talented designer type person. It's the shorthand for that is artistic, but I think you have a lot of aesthetics. Like you like things just so. And if you could come over to my house, you'd say, Aunt Debbie, why you got that thing, that sofa over there? Why don't you put it over there? I'm like, oh, I never thought of that. Because she has your husband is looking with great pride because you have a lot of insight. Um, your talents include uh, um, Sherelle. I think I know you have a job. However, you could be an excellent entrepreneur and make your own money. One of the ways that you could make money is even with astrology. So if you wanted to learn, I would teach you.
Mm.
But you like to be independent. You like to have your own money. You don't want anybody in charge of your money. And you could begin to look at what are the ways that you can make money on the side with art, with design, with writing, maybe even writing for other people or designing greeting cards. What are some of the things you've thought of doing artistically and creatively?
Being a ghostwriter was definitely one because I rap and I write all of my material, but I just don't like the limelight to be out there and rap. So I wanted to be a ghostwriter.
Mm. This is different.
So you're thinking you want to be behind the scenes.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So I think, yeah, my sense of looking at your chart is that is not true. Now I can't tell you about you, right? Like I got a lot of nerve to tell you, but I think what's going on is more insecurity than that you don't want to be
Mhm.
in the limelight because you were born to be in the
Mhm.
limelight.
Mhm.
But you may have a certain amount of reserve about not being good enough, some of which I think comes from your the early days of growing up without your father and the ways in which that left you very, very vulnerable. You were one of those children who may have been told that children should be seen and not heard.
Mhm.
And I would say children should be seen as much as they should be seen, and that would include you. Your growing edge is your ability to be honest. So, some years ago, Whoopi Goldberg wrote a one woman stage play. And I remember one of the things that she talked about, this isn't relevant to your generation because y'all got hair, but in my generation, we didn't have any hair. We were all picky headed little black girls. So we used to put pants on our legs and swing it, or stocking caps. And we put a little bobby pin, a little beret on the stocking, and we go like that so we could have long hair. And that was a shameful secret that many of us had at that time. Your strength is when you tell some of those shameful secrets. You have to work them through so that they're not shameful. So, some of the things about which you are ashamed are absolutely your brilliance and your genius hidden. I think you bury your genius and your talent. I think you may have felt that um, um, you you could also, in terms of your work, be a very good therapist kind of person, but you don't have to do literally therapy, but you could do um like this kind of thing, astrology,
Mhm.
or you can do therapy for the public through your writings because you have very, very deep stories and you don't talk, you don't tell them. Sherelle, you need somebody to talk to who you could trust. And I don't mean your friends, because most of our friends can't handle the level of things that you need to talk about. Some of the grief. And I think I'll
And that's why she has a great partner in DJ Boom, right?
um
All right. and so,
and maybe not your husband.
okay, all right.
So,
Um,
because a lot of times we feel that that if we share all our stuff that we're being intimate with people, and they don't necessarily get it. You need to talk to people who are trained to listen to the kinds of issues um, that you have, and then in turn you will become a great person to listen to other people. But
oh,
you are deep. I think I'm being told to be quiet.
okay.
Who said that?
No, no, but I think we all understand
Who said that?
where the
I don't
conversation is
even know,
going.
I don't even know who gestured that.
No, but I think we all know where the conversation is going. No, as far as the advice you're giving. To wrap things up, though, what would you say astrology plays in people's lives overall? I mean, should they take these things to heart, or just as entertainment?
Well, of course, for me,
Right.
astrology is a lifesaver. It is a way of knowing ourselves faster and more deeply than we can without it. Now, I don't think you have to have astrology. I wouldn't say, oh, everybody has to do astrology, but
Right.
I know that I am still learning about myself, even with the astrology. For me, it has been a lifesaver. I wouldn't have had the courage to be an artist in the way that I am if my chart didn't totally say that that's what I'm born to do. And as I was saying earlier, astrology has really helped me with my temper and with my rage. Um, and I can say it so freely because I know that the energy of anger is it's only energy. And that if I use that energy, that is how I get enlightened. So for most of us, who we really are, or some aspect of ourselves, is shamed. We feel a lot of shame about being who we are, about or some of the things that we think about. And astrology can be very enlightening. I've had people say I've saved their lives. I've had people say they wish they had come to me instead of going to their therapist. I'm working with a writer now who's writing a book, and I'm using astrology to support her in that endeavor. But if you just use it for entertainment, that's fine too. You still have to work with yourself. It's not the end all be all. A lot of people are afraid of astrology because they think the astrologer is going to tell them when they're going to die or something.
Right.
We don't do that, or
Okay.
or that um, ast- that astrology is going to say they're an awful person. I could say that, like for example, I would say that with Sherelle. I suspect that her mother. Did you have your mother was a little strict,
Yeah, she wasn't there either.
and she wasn't there either. Yeah. So there's some, so that parenting issue. And as was your
Her
mother old?
grandmother was.
You were raised by your grandmother,
Grandparents,
grandparents. Were they strict?
very
Very. So
extremely.
the way Sherelle was parented was in terms of black and white. This is right and this is wrong. Um, and why am I back on Sherelle? But only to say that that could leave a person with feeling not trusting themselves, not really trusting themselves, or rebelling against the right thing. And if you're not going to do the right thing, you're going to do the what? Bad thing. So then she could become a bad girl in her youth because she's rebelling. But is that who she really is? No.
Right.
Who she really is a poet. But that issue of abandonment, even if it's not conscious, there's what comes with it is a lot of shame. And Sherelle almost has to reparent herself. And astrology can help with that. She can learn that she can express herself, be herself, show herself in all her magnificent glory. And one of the vehicles for doing that is the spoken word. Even though Sekou appears like he's the talking one, Sherelle has as much to say, if not more.
Oh, she just says it in a text message,
Yeah.
All right. Well, that does it. Let's start
That's
let's
true.
start winding it down here. It's been a good show though. It's been informative.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree
Absolutely.
with everything, but that's me. Everybody takes it for what they take it for, right? So
What is
but it's been
you don't
interesting.
agree with? What is it? Give me an example of what you don't agree with.
Right.
Well, I don't want to go into it right now. Like I said, I want to start winding things down because I do have
Okay.
things to do. I'm sure other
Okay.
people do
All
too.
right. I just want to say one thing.
Yeah.
Astrology, you don't have to, it's not about agreeing. And
Mm.
there are some things that an astrologer will tell you that if we're resistant to it, then we'll say we don't agree with it. When I do my readings, I tape it. And sometimes people will come to me a year later and say, remember you were trying to tell me that I didn't hear it then.
Mm.
And not that I'm saying I said everything right. You have to own your own power. But remember, you're very sensitive and maybe not easy, to be vulnerable. You've done such a good job being vulnerable here today, and I applaud you for that.
Well, I thank you for your insight, and thanks for telling me about myself.
I didn't.
All right, and everybody. Thanks for my wife Terry. Thanks Sherelle for coming on.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
I hope you guys got what you wanted. Y'all
Thank you, Aunt
wanted
Debbie,
it.
thank you, Aunt Debbie, for the readings and the insight on all of us, including yourself. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the show, and again, like Shaheem said, I hope it helped in some kind of way, shape, or form. Just hearing some of the information, I'm gonna be honest about my wife, is helping me form some different things going on. So,
right,
it is what it is at the end
It's
of the day.
scary to me.
Same here. I think some things she got right about my wife. I don't know about some other things, but some things I think she got right. Right, Sarah?
She got everything right about me.
And she got everything right about me, and I'm trying to figure out how.
Right.
Okay, maybe after 15, 16 years of marriage, maybe I don't know everything. All right, we'll see.
We sure don't know everything after 15 years of marriage. It's a guarantee. And
17.
It's a guarantee that you don't know everything about.
That's funny. Anyway, all right. Wrapping up the show, I just want to shout out some people real fast. I want to shout out Forever Fudge. Again, her forefront release party last week was amazing. Thanks again, Fudge, for that. Also want to shout out to Wanda for coming up with a crazy dance for my song. I'm going to show you guys in a few minutes the dance and everything. So make sure you reach out to her as she gets hooked, excuse me, on Instagram and everything else, and go check out what she does with crocheting and everything. I'm sure you're going to find some things that you love. All right, DJ Boom, what you got going on this week, fam?
Man, I got the same old going on. I do have a private party to do on Friday, extra on Friday, and So we got that going on, and it is October, and I'm supposed to be doing something for the woman that I'm married to for her birthday coming up in about 2 weeks. I think we're going to eat or something. She said, "I don't know."
Oh, okay, all right.
You know, I'm not excited about it at all. So you know, it is what it is.
All right, congrats you too. How about you, Debbie? What you got going on this week?
Make some art.
Art, awesome.
Make
We
some
hung
art.
we hung your rainbow maker in our new place. Right, it seemed like the place was designed for your rainbow maker.
Oh, there you go.
It is
All
right
right.
there, right
Does
there.
it make
So
rainbows in the room?
absolutely. Well, it's not the way the sun is positioned now. It's not a whole lot of sunlight coming through, but when the sunlight does hit in the front like that, it absolutely does make rainbows. Yeah.
Oh, great.
It's right in the middle.
Right. I'm
Oh,
glad you
that's
enjoy
great.
it.
That's a beautiful thing.
Thank you
Yeah.
for that. She made that.
Right. That's a beautiful thing.
Nice.
And also, don't forget, you can also reach out to Debbie on visioncarriers@aol.com. If you're looking for readings and things, she'll be more than happy to help you out, I'm sure.
Absolutely. So I guess the wives are gonna be hitting you up, Auntie, because they're gonna want to.
Yes, ma'am.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah, you may have started something.
Yeah, I need a little bit more time.
I hope so.
It is all good. So
As far as me, I just want to let everybody know to go get my song Weightless. It's definitely out there for everybody. Finally, you can get it on Spotify, you can get it on SoundCloud, you can catch it on YouTube. But along with that, you also have to go and learn the dance, the Weightless Challenge. It's the next thing that's going to be going viral, and everybody, it's going to be showing up at your parties. You definitely want to learn it. I want to thank again Tawanda. Encourage everybody to go learn to dance. I'm going to put it out there, all right? And we're going to be doing it at the next party. And there you have it. And so there you go. I'm Shaheem once again.
I am yours
from the
truly,
Sort of Be More
DJ
and
Boom. DJ Boom here, the official DJ Boom.
Deborah Singletary, aka Aunt Debbie.
Aunt Debbie. There we go.
Once again, shout out to Terry and shout out to Sherelle for joining the show today.
Yes.
AKA
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Boomat.
Right.
Okay.
It ain't no AKA. That's what she known as. For sure. Let's make it do what it do.
And thanks again, Aunt Debbie, for all the readings. It was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank
You're so
you.
welcome.